being 7:32 on Tuesday, September 25th, 2018. I'm calling the regular meeting to order for the Maine Township Board. If everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so first order of business is roll call.
Supervisor Morass?
Here.
Trustee Jones? Here. Trustee McKenzie? Here. Trustee Carabota?
Here.
Trustee Sweeney?
Here.
Assessor Boynan Cry?
Here.
Highway Commissioner Kazmierczak?
Here.
Clerk Jalamas?
Clerk Jalamas is on a well-deserved vacation in Hawaii. Okay, so I'm going to ask for approval of the minutes of the August 16th, 2018 special board. No, I didn't make a motion. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the August 16th, 2018 board meeting, special board meeting.
I second.
having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Viesha, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Morass?
Yes.
Trustee Jones? Yes. Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Okay, ask for a motion for approval of the minutes of the August 28th, 2018 bill pay review.
Motion to approve the August 28th bill pay review and waive the reading.
Second?
Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Tyco, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Morass?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Carabota? Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
And now I'm going to ask for a motion for approval of the minutes of the August 28th, 2018 Town Fund Budget Hearing.
Motion to approve the August 28th town fund budget hearing meeting, waive the reading. Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
I recommend.
Recognize Trustee Sweeney.
I will pass this down. In listening to the motions that were made, I had noticed that there were a couple of typos, and so I listened to the two motions and put a verbatim transcript. So I would recommend that about 3/4 of the way down, after the lengthy discussion was made, Trustee Sweeney, I would recommend to delete, well, first of all, to add that the time frame in that was at 43 minutes and 20 seconds, and that the motion be substituted with the following motion. Motion to amend the proposed budget to pay the attorney's fees and to pay the capital fund. And then if we do include the second sentence, which is fine either way, that's what we increase over the budget that was approved for June. The other things would be considered later when we determine what is really needed. And then on page 2, after Trustee Sweeney withdrew her motion, I'm recommending we add the marker as 53 minutes and 20 seconds, and we delete the paragraph of Supervisor Morask's motion to put in the literal transcript, which was, the motion was to take action on what is listed as the amended general town fund budget, which is amending 7 line items, 3 of which are added to based on attorney's fees, accountant, and the website in order to have increased transparency. And the last is on the roll call vote. Trustee McKenzie was mentioned as voting twice, and we need to substitute trustee Carabota in for trustee McKenzie.
But
as
I
voting.
already gave you, sent you the
Right.
corrected minutes, and some of the corrected minutes that will be on the table. So it's.
Yeah, they are on the table.
It's already there.
Okay,
We have
that's fine.
made a mistake, but I.
No
sent
problem.
an email.
Is it? Okay, maybe I didn't see it on this table.
Yeah, it was on the table, and,
Okay, I see that, that's fine. Okay, so that's already been addressed, but the other two motions, did you change the other two verbatim to match what I said? So, okay, so let's keep what I have. Yes,
So I'm sorry, isn't that what I
have a
said?
second?
Yeah, I would second the motion to amend the minutes to incorporate the two amendments articulated by trustee Sweeney.
So, trustee Sweeney, I'm just asking, what's the difference for deleting the paragraph that Aisha had for my motion and what you have?
Well, on the first one, on my motion, it's just more confusing and it's typos that don't make sense. The sentence doesn't read right. So I think as per Robert's rules, it's required that a verbatim motion that was actually used be used. So I just, I felt that that was clearer and that we were following Robert's rules. And on the second one, I guess as far as the verbiage, the only difference is that you had mentioned 3 of which are added to. So in other words, it still is not, real clear, but that's exactly what was said, and the issue could.
I think Aisha did correct this motion because that was another correction that we discussed. Can you check the ones on your?
Okay, yeah.
Because I caught the language problem, and
Okay, mine is not, because it says other things will be considered later instead of considered later. And then it says what is,
no, I'm talking about motion to
I
take
understand.
action as described in the amended general town fund budget as proposed, with 7 line items being amended based on attorney's fees, accountant fees, and the website in order to have increased, there's an obvious typo there, increased transparency and establishing capital fund. So, can you see if that was changed on the one instead?
well, you had added the words 3 of which are added to, but
All right, so are you saying you listened to the tape and this is what I said?
that's what I'm saying I did. Yeah, I listened to the tape and
And
that's
that's a verbatim of what I said?
what you had said, right.
Okay.
If you,
I don't have a problem with that, and, we already fixed the trustee McKenzie, and then for your first, substitution, that's, again, you listen to the tape and what you said, you want to substitute for what was
right.
right?
Mine is more a matter of just typos, more so than.
But that's what you said?
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly what I said. So if EH has any concern or problem with that, you want to listen to it again, whatever, but that's what I heard. And I listened to it several times.
Okay. So any other changes, direct deletions, amendments? Hearing none. Can we call the roll?
Supervisor Ross?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask for approval of the minutes of the August 28, 2018 Road District Budget Hearing.
Approve the minutes for the road district budget hearing
Yes.
for August 28th.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Tagko, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie? Yes. Trustee Carmona?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Okay, and now I need a motion for approval of the minutes of the August 28, 2018 board.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the Maine Township Board meeting, August 28, 2018, waive reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
Yes.
All right, I recognize trustee Kirabo.
Very minor one, about, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs down, the part that says trustee Carabota requested. I'm asking that that be amended to simply say trustee Carabota requested that only addresses and emails be redacted, period.
What page is that?
That's on page 5. Sorry about that, I missed the page. So page 5, it's about a third of the way down. Trustee Carabota requested is where it starts. If we just have trustee Carabota requested that only address and emails be redacted, period.
You don't want the real what, from FOIA requests posted on the website?
When I was reading it, I don't think I said that, but I didn't listen to it. I mean,
I thought you did, I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I thought that was the point. But you're not sure. Is that what you're saying?
I know, yeah, I know I said that, but I could not confirm the rest of it, so I want to make sure. It's just.
Okay. Okay, so that's your change.
And other than that, no changes.
And, all right. Does anybody else have any changes, corrections, deletions, additions?
Yes.
Okay, recognizing trustee Sweeney.
I would like to add under my board report, there's no comment of, I just wanted one sentence to add, that trustee Sweeney commented that Representative Moylan was inappropriate in his call for resignations of elected officials that were allowing for due process.
I'm sorry, what page?
That would be page 6 on your official reports.
Let's see. Page 6.
On page
I don't
6,
see you.
well, that's the point, there was no comment on anything that I said, and so I just wanted one sentence. There
Oh,
was no comment at all
Oh.
that reflecting what I had said, which was longer than that, but
I get it.
see, I'm fine with seeing
I
video,
get it.
people can watch the video, but
I get it.
I think that it's important to make note that I made a comment about something that was pretty significant that had happened during that meeting, so.
All right. Anyone have a problem with that?
No.
I found this not very well.
All right, and your comment, what? I'm sorry.
So do you want me to read it again?
Where's my comment? Where's that?
I'm sorry,
This was our-
Sister Marlene Craig, what comment are you referencing?
Well, that's what I'm asking. She's making a comment against my comment, and I don't see the comment she's referring to.
I think she
No,
was
representative,
talking
not
about,
you.
about Marty Moyle.
About, Marty Moore.
You want to read your suggestion again? so-
It
Yes.
wasn't about,
Trustee Sweeney commented that
Oh, I thought you said
Representative
something about me.
no, just happened to be the same.
Trustee Sweeney commented that Representative Moylan was inappropriate in his call for resignations of elected officials that were allowing for due process.
Okay, all right, so that'll be, all right, so anybody else? Hearing none, let's call the roll.
Supervisor Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Carmona?
Yes, clarifying that it's approving the minutes along with those two specific amendments as I articulated and as trustee Sweeney articulated.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes, and also with the 2 amendments.
All right, we're up to the fun part of the night. Is there any public participation? And can you, okay, I think this gentleman in the third row, you want to come up, please?
My name is Dave.
Oh, can you step up to the podium so we can hear you?
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Zay again. I live here on 8829 Robin Drive. This length, 1 block from here. I have here a petition. We have 18 family.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that, sorry. You have a petition?
Petition, yes. It's about the street we have here. There's potholes. And there's when we have a rain, the water's not going in the sewer. It's just sit there forever. It's clogged out, the sewer. And this is in east of Robert Drive, next to the Lutheran Hospital, General Hospital, retention pond. And I have documented pictures. I made 4 of them for
4 sets there?
4 sets. Yeah.
I'll share with you.
There's about 18 family. They signed. They have their name, their telephone number. I called Maine Township about this. They said we don't do that. Called Highway Patrol, which is I did. I called. They say we're not responsible.
Can I,
And they say call Cook County. I called Cook County Sheriff. The officer came down. He saw it. He said we don't handle that. We need help. I don't know who we talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to let Highway Commissioner Kazmerchik.
Yeah, now this pothole you refer to, not all that is public land or public right of way. It's private property. So the 18 signatures could, if they pool their resources, maybe they could fix the pothole, but we're not responsible for putting, fixing potholes on private property.
I live a little far away. I don't know who's responsible.
Well, here's the thing. I had a conversation with, I don't think it was you, it was another resident who also, same thing, and he told me it was private property. So we don't actually have any authority. We can't spend township resident money on a private property. We can certainly investigate the address and make sure that it's not township property. And are you saying it is township property? I just want to be clear on what, I'll try to fix your issue.
We have a problem with it, like I said, when the rain comes, the sewer, the gutter, the water's not going anywhere because it's clogged out with leaves, trash. Water's not going anywhere. It sit there, and we have kids, coming from school. They cannot come this side. They have to go other side, Robin Drive.
Right.
And also, there's no lights. Also, there's no lights at all. I wish one of you can go there and see it. There's only one light between the Bobby, and it's so dark. I mean, you can commit crime. There's no.
Well, actually, we were the ones, I think, that got that one light, and that took like an act of God, because we had to work with IDOT and to do it. So there was under Highway Commissioner Provenzano. We might be able to get you another light. No, there was a burned out light. Highway Commissioner Walter Kazmarchik.
As an example, Park Ridge Point, where I live, the condo association resurfaced a road that connected the townhouses and the other condo buildings. We paid for that. City of Park Ridge didn't pay for it. If you were in an unfortunate situation, I don't think you have a community association.
We don't have a system, no.
No, so, you know, if it's on private property, we're not even allowed to fix that pothole.
What about the Advocate Lutheran Hospital, when there's trees, when the leaves come down, how come they don't clean it, they don't do anything on that?
Well, that should have to address with,
I can try to bring that up with the city of
It's a
Park
mess.
Ridge, but that is, and I'm not a big fan of not my problem. I really do try to solve the residents' problems. It's just, we're limited in, so I can connect you with the alderman for that board that handles Advocate.
Okay.
That might be helpful. And we're very cognizant, we got 1 million calls on these sewers on private property. We're just not allowed to enter private property.
No, that's the gutter, you know, the one I'm talking about, the sewer.
This one
It's
was
clogged out.
in
I
the
mean,
street. This, I mean, that, this.
We're not,
was-
but
It's in the back
when
of the
they
alley.
come to us, they told us it was private property, so this is the first.
What about that
Straight up
gutter?
private property. Okay, but you have to understand, my road in front of my condo building looks like a street, but the
Right.
city
So
of Park
Robin
Ridge
Drive
has
is not-
no jurisdiction over it and can't fill the pothole or
Some of the
resurface the road.
subdivisions are.
Yeah,
right
and
in
Robin
the
Drive
street.
is that way. is what
But
you're saying.
we, you know what, I'm gonna give you my number, his number, and we'll send Mike out to verify
Yeah.
whether that particular pothole is private property or township property. And if it's not township, not private, then it's gotta be Park Ridge. But I
Is
don't think
Robin
it's private.
Drive Township where he is?
Well,
township property? It's in the middle of
the
the
Robin Drive is a street, but these are like little alleys in the
Right.
back. These aren't Robin Drive per se, we plow and we maintain, but these little alleys in the back, that's in private property, and we can't touch those.
Even, excuse me, the gutter, that does not belong to the city? What do we got to do with that? You know, I'm talking about the gutter, water, rain, all that. It's clogged out, the water's not going anywhere.
I'm gonna recommend.
We have a major problem.
I'm
Can I
recommend
ask-
trustee Carabotta.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, sure.
A couple of years ago, when they did the alley, what's his name, this person, Robert, the
Robinson.
director, yeah, he did the alley, they did like 200,000. It was done a couple of years ago. They did the back in the alley. Now you're.
But that's what I wanna look up, if that is indeed, because we used to get, let me explain
Yeah.
just that part. We used to get CDBG grants, Community Block Development Grants, that were federal grants that were given to us by the federal government that we would apply for. And Bob applied for quite a bit of them, and that would give us the money to do it. It wasn't township money, it wasn't resident money, but there is no more community development block grants. So, in the last, 2 years?
No, probably 5.
That might have actually been one of the last few that we did.
I remember this.
See, there's a
Yeah.
lot of confusion there about what's private and what's.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do want to try to help you, so, you know, on Monday, tomorrow and Thursday, we can absolutely have someone come out and look and verify with our plant and our assessor, you know, what's, you know, both the gutter, the pothole, and then I'll find you your alderman in Park Ridge to deal with the Advocate
And the
issue.
lights, what about the light? It's so dark there, and I spoke with you, I believe, a couple of times.
You did.
It's so dark, if you go there now, there's only one light. I mean,
And
it's so
again, I have to
difficult.
find out, all right, let me take care of that. Dwayne, do you mind giving him my direct number? Thank you, I promise.
What's your phone number, too? What's your phone? 224-561-1666.
It is just.
You can call those residents, though.
Advocate? No, not the advocate. Right, but the advocate part is Partridge. The trees on Advocate are Partridge. And it was just pointed out, some of might be the city of Des Plaines, but I'll get in touch with the right person in the city of Des Plaines, if it is the city of Des Plaines, as opposed to the township. I'm not gonna shuffle you off, okay?
Well, thank you for your time, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Sir, is this for us to keep or would you like to put this back?
Yeah, can we hang on
Yeah, you can
to
have
that? Sorry.
We have no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Leave me in the second.
Good evening, my name is Annette Caraboda. I've been a resident of Niles for many years. Not only am I an active in my home community, but I've also witnessed the changes along with the developments that have been taking place over the years in Niles and in the surrounding suburbs. As an established business professional, there is a quote I truly believe that states a message we have all forgotten. As said by Brian Tracy, successful people are always looking for opportunities to help others. Unsuccessful people are always asking, what is it in it? What's in it for me? This quote, though simple and as straightforward as it is, still becomes misconstrued by so many in everyday life. It holds no discrimination or judgment of one's background, ethnicity, gender, or profession, but it really highlights the importance of what we as the people should direct our attention towards. We, and I say we, because it takes a community to fight against fake truths, while it's being fed to us to cause misdirection. A hot and pressing subject that is being addressed nationwide is being taken advantage of and used to cause such misdirection. It is uncomfortable to open Pandora's box to address small government matters unrelated to the movement that needs our attention. But is it right to attack those who do, and in such ways where you create these fake truths? Because some are scared to face the matters that have been locked away and forgotten in the box. Or maybe not forgotten, just decided to glance the other way while creating these distractions. We witness these everywhere, not only in big but small local governments. But why not cry wolf when you have it fed into your personal gain in playing a political game? Because that is, as stated, as unsuccessful. We can choose as a community to recognize these distractions that are around us, see the real truths, and ask ourselves, what do we believe without the influence of others in media? Whatever happened to challenging policies to set us forth towards the right direction? Whatever happened to rewriting regulations to better the life of the people? Whatever happened to supporting the every person who wants to be successful in the role representing the people? Those individuals are seen as threats to a system and to other members that refuses change or lack of participation. Government requires adaptation, organization, and cleanup duty because life is constantly changing around us. So then, when hearing those who cry, wolf, it distracts your attention and brings to question one's character. It is that member who is crying that needs to be unfavorably questioned, because those conscious actions reveal unacceptable conduct, where it hurts those who need the support from the proper support groups, and you weaken their voice when they are already silent as they are facing the hurdles ahead. But you not only hurt those individuals, but also those who you have never taken into consideration on hurting, as well as your own character, among those who can see through the unjustified claims. Just because some didn't agree with others' opposing views, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I ask the community to participate and attend these meetings to not only hear but listen to what is being addressed in the township meeting discussions. When you look at the panel among you, that you have all voted into a role to perform a duty to you, you're responsible to make sure your vote wasn't wasted. To allow those who you have trusted to be your voice take advantage of your kindness and trust in your vote. As they underperform, that's a vote wasted. For individuals taking advantage of a movement for their own gain and falsely directing others to collect their support is unsuccessful to their role. Pay close attention to those who press to create changes for communities, who want to try new methods and implement new policies in order to perform to their fullest. The ones who ask for extra time to review matters to make sure that everything is being properly addressed by all angles. The members who ask the hard questions, opening that Pandora's box to organize and clean up what has been ignored, which others have been neglecting or dodging when brought up in meetings, with reasonings that hold no logical sense to the position. I challenge you to not only notice the successful members, but to recognize and listen to the unsuccessful. Those who are masking your voice, creating a distraction, whereas taking the attention away from the matters that are important to you. The ones that cause you to ask the question why, but never supply the reasonable solution or answering, creating more whys being asked. These representatives asked for such duties, responsibilities, and trust. They accepted the role to serve for the good of the people and the communities to their full capabilities, no matter what the sacrifices, because that comes with the job. You determine for yourself who are successful people that have delivered, that are looking for opportunities to help others. It is up to you to recognize those who are unsuccessful by constantly being silent during meetings, creating false claims and distractions, and enjoy listening to themselves speak than listening to the matters being addressed at hand, creating positive resolutions. I ask you to not let others determine your opinion, but let others hear them. Thank you.
Jean Deach from Park Ridge. I agree that we should pay attention and read, what we all need to do is read the reports. I agree that fake news is being spread. It is a fake truth that Dave Carabota has been exonerated and cleared of all charges. The truth is, they determined it to be inconclusive.
Anyone else? Anyone for it?
I agree that this is no laughing matter. My name is Sandra Chisnikevich. I drove over 30 miles to get here because I have known Trustee Carabota for 30 plus years and his family. Hello, you guys. None of these folks knew I was coming tonight, so. I can remember how excited David was when his daughter was born. That's how far back we go. This is a man who values his family, his church, and his friends more than most people I know. I can say with certainty, and I grew up in a family with an Italian father who had 11 siblings. Trustee Carabota has led an exemplary life in service to others, as has the rest of his family. With his willingness to volunteer in his community, help those in need, and while already having a full plate to put himself out there and run for public office, he has clearly shown his desire to make his community a better place for all, not just for himself. I believe the current attack on Trustee Carabota is purely politically motivated. As a woman who has been previously on a job legitimately sexually harassed, I am offended by those who would use this accusation as a weapon, a tool, if you will, to attempt to get a good man to resign from a post that he was elected to, simply for trying to do his job to the best of his ability, which may shake up the pot a little bit. This behavior on the part of Marty Moylan, the ladies in the pink shirts, Action Park Ridge, whoever it may be that shows up on a given night, anybody in this room, you individuals are truly an insult to every woman who has legitimately gone through this. The fact that the would-be victim has changed her story and intensified since an investigation was done only serves to show the true motivation behind the accusation. It is the new "you're a racist," and those who don't go along are ridiculed. This needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. There are true victims out there. Right now, the attention is being focused on the wrong victim. Thank you.
Is there anybody else?
All right. Now, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve general assistance expenditure.
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 7th, 2018, and September 21st, 2018, and general assistance checks number 51505 through check number 51561 in the amount of $59,922.42. Second.
Are you dying over there? Sorry.
I am.
Do you need some water? Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? And I need your guys' general assistance. Thanks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Tyko, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Ross?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
All right. Now, a motion for, I'm gonna
Got it.
ask for a motion for approval of the road district expenditures.
Make a motion for approval, motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 7, 2018 and September 21, 2018. Road district checks number 20550 through check number 20593 in the amount of $365,979.79.
There a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, can you call the roll, please?
Supervisor Ross?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie?
Yes.
Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
And bless you, God blesses you. I'm going to I'll make the motion for approval of general town fund expenditures. So I need a second.
Second.
Need a motion and a second.
Second.
I think Trustee Sweeney got that first. Having a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Yes, Trustee Sweeney.
There is a bill that was an overage of $400 that we will credit back to accurately reflect the amount that we're approving for that total amount, which is the $15,782.68 as opposed to $16,182.68.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. I need to actually.
Okay, $400 difference.
I'm sorry, Susan. I have to amend my motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 7th and September 21st and general town fund checks number 56214 through check 56281 in the amount of $338,425.86. All right, now, you're telling us the error that we discovered that is the $100 that will be credited back to
Yes,
our attorneys.
It's check number 56228.
All right. So rather than change the total amount, we're going to get that credited back on the next statement.
Correct. And there was one other issue I had talked to Carrie Lynn about, our attorney, as it pertained to moving one of the bills from
Right, but that doesn't affect the amount.
Right.
Okay. So, having the motion and the second, is there any further discussion? Trustee Carabell?
As long as the understanding is that the motion includes the amendment to the amount for carryover credit and the amendment in the distribution of those funds, because there were four purposes laid out in the billing. What was the purpose for one of the expenditures is going to be switched from one basis to another. So as long as with that amount, change the credit in that amendment, is that, am I correct?
Right, but the total amount
It's
doesn't
already
change, so
been
it's really the same motion, and it's already happened, so yeah, that's fine, we can understand. Okay, Clerk Tyko, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Ross?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie? Yes. Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Okay. Tonight we are honoring the Center of Concern. It is their 40th anniversary, and we've had some events to recognize the great work the Center of Concern does, not only, in conjunction with the township, but for everybody in Park Ridge and the integral part that they play. We're also very honored to be a funding partner to them. We had done a pinwheel garden in the front of the township on an earlier date. So tonight I have a proclamation that I would like to give to John McBola on behalf of the Center of Concern and anybody else that you feel should stand up. We will take a picture at the end. Okay. So, whereas the Center of Concern was founded in 1978 as the Office of the Ombudsman by a local citizen, the late Dorothea E. Hyman, in response to a needs assessment she conducted for her master's degree thesis, discovering that the city needed a place for people to be heard and to find community resources. And whereas the organization grew and changed its name to the Center of Concern in 1982, still relying on volunteers and receiving funding from the Suburban Area Agency on Aging and the Salvation Army. And whereas many supportive programs have been added to the Center of Concern's initial information and referral service, including, among others, the Senior Companion Program, Home Sharing, Community Services Counseling, and Life Enrichment Programs. And whereas the Center of Concern became a United Way affiliate and gained funding support from Maine Township in the cities of Des Plaines and Park Ridge during the 1980s, and federal, state, and Cook County funding support to prevent homelessness in the 1990s. And whereas the Center of Concern demonstrates its value to the local community and region on an ongoing basis by providing in excess of 20,000 services per year, mostly on a no-fee basis. And whereas, as the Center of Concern enters its 40th year of proudly providing essential services to seniors, the disabled, and families in need throughout Maine Township and its surrounding areas, it remains passionately, actively, and fully committed to its mission and continuing to serve the citizens, businesses, and civic leaders of Des Plaines. They moved to Des Plaines. Now therefore, I, Laura J. Morantz, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Maine Township Supervisor in the County of Cook, State of Illinois, do hereby salute the Center of Concern for its significant history and ongoing work in providing affordable housing solutions, senior services, and counseling for seniors, the disabled, and others in need, enabling area residents to live with dignity and independence. In witness whereof I am hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the Township of Maine to be affixed this 25th day of September 2018, signed by myself and attested by Clerk Giovannis, who extends his congratulations from the beaches on Wiley. And so, I'm going to present this to you, and I really thank all of you.
Thank you very much.
One of my favorite things is when we do Student Government Day and they reenact the agencies. For any of you that ever read during the day, you should come watch it. Because they get the packets and they address like the different things we address during funding, and they hit the target. They decided exactly the amount we've decide. So it is really a great program. Okay, so let's have the whole board. Can you fit us all?
I think so,
Can you
yeah.
fit everybody?
Thank you
Come
for
on.
this opportunity.
No.
Oh, John's trying to say.
We'll come up front.
John, you want to?
Isn't the dinner celebration over 12?
Yes, well, I was going to
That's what I was
say,
saying, we have dinner celebration.
on behalf of the
Oh, I'm sorry.
staff and
I let John
volunteers,
say a few words.
thank you so much for acknowledging the work at Center Concern. It's been such a positive force in the community since it was founded 40 years ago. And we currently have over 300 volunteers, including many of whom are here tonight, making a positive difference in the community. And I also wanted to mention that Maine Township has been such a wonderful supporter and partner to us for so many years that we named them the Partner of the Decade, and they will be honored on October 12th at our 40th anniversary fundraiser at the Glen Club. And so much deserved honor. So
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, now, come on, everybody. You're going to have to figure this out. All right, some people going back.
A little bit tighter on the edges if possible. Okay. Count of three, we'll take multiple shots here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for all your work I always said that. I have more time than money, so.
You guys all will be here for this new
We did, yes, and I got it in my
Thank you. See you on the phone. All right, the next item of business is under old business. Discussion and update on the status of the attorney's harassment report. To report back on transcripts, FOIA's requested corrections, redacted. All right, so we have received depositions, and the FOIAs have been steadily being produced, and there's a few more items that we're waiting for. These will be posted on the website, and so that's my report on that. And I received them Thursday and Friday and had some questions because one was missing. And so we were going back and forth. Anyways, so I'm not at this point ready to have any of the requested corrections or redactions. And I'm going to table that for the next meeting. But that's my report on that. And I'll recognize Trustee Singh.
So last meeting, we voted on releasing the transcripts once they were looked at by an attorney, Karen Lynn, for any redactions of personal information that was to be posted on the website. You mentioned that there's a few more things. Can we not post what we have thus far?
Yeah, that's over.
I didn't know if you were awaiting
But,
something.
no, well, we are. We were actually waiting yours. So that's the reason I didn't ask Carrie Lynn to review it, because you had been listed on June 13th, and I did not know that you had not wanted to do it in front of a court reporter. So it took till Friday afternoon for me to find that out. So I had requested, in the interest of transparency, for that, since everybody else did, with the exception of trustee McKenzie, who they determined didn't have any information, sorry. The attorney's notes. So, in the meantime, absolutely, we're gonna post the press.
So we can expect that tomorrow?
Yep. But I have not given them to Carrie Lynn to redact, but I saw nothing that needed to be redacted, but I did need I was trying to post it all at once, you know, with the notes in place of the actual court reporter, because no other witness was allowed that choice, or was told of that choice. And there was no reference to it, not through any fault of Carrie Lynn's. It was billed under Bob McCabe's time, but I know that the court reporter had been here. So that's what I was doing on Friday, why they weren't able to be posted, because I had to ask the legal assistant. I thought it was an oversight, that we didn't have yours. And then I got a response from Bob McCabe that he refused to do it with the court reporter, so I then requested the notes. That's the status. Happy to put the depositions that we have, and I'll recognize. Are you finished, trustee?
Yes.
Okay.
I do have a question for Trustee Sweeney. Why is it that you had refused a deposition in front of a court reporter? I mean, 14 people were deposed and you were the only one. And I'm just curious as to what your objection was to testifying in front of a court reporter.
I did have an interview, I just didn't have.
But you were the only one who were deposed with the court
At the
reporter.
time, I didn't know who
And
was-
I'm just wondering, what was your objection to testifying in front of a court reporter when everybody else wasn't afforded that privilege or right? So why?
I didn't view it as a privilege or a right. Anybody could have made their own choice. I didn't know what everybody was doing, so I just had an individual interview with them and chose to give them the information.
Actually, one of the employees asked to remain anonymous and they weren't given that right. So that's not,
Well, I can't
what
comment
you're saying is not accurate.
I
For the
can't comment
record, it's
on
not
a legal
accurate.
opinion given to somebody else, trustee Jones. I can only comment on what I did. Thank you.
But you still didn't answer the question. What was your objection to testifying in front of a court reporter?
I just chose to interview without that, so.
Why?
That was
That's
my
the
choice.
question. What's the, why?
That was my choice.
Well, I think in the interest of transparency that the response to that, as well as the notes, should be posted as well. So that since your information is incorporated into several pages of the report, and I have been other deponents were quite upset by this, that no one was told whether or not they had a choice. It was, so.
Well, they didn't have a choice. You refused, actually.
Right, to put a fine point on it. So, you know, I just want to make it very transparent that the reason they're not posted on the website is because Friday was the first time I ever learned that even though, you know, the court reporter had been paid for to come to the township, it wasn't you, so I would have no idea of knowing that you would refuse to do it with a court reporter. So all of it will be posted on the website. All right. Now, we are going to briefly go into, or I'm going to motion to go into closed session for a previously tabled two closed session items. One being the review of February 12th, 2018, and one being a review of May 22nd, 2018. Both had been on the agenda on the last meeting. Both were tabled at Trustee Carabota and Trustee Sweeney's request. So, I can make a motion.
I'd add that there was also Trustee McKenzie's request also.
Well, she voted for it, but the actual motion table is,
Right,
that's what it's for.
And I had commented that the reason why we were tabling is because we didn't have all the information. We didn't
Well, I had the
have
verbatim, we're not gonna hash it out, I had the verbatim copy,
But
but
for the sake of transparency, letting people know.
I'm gonna make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to 2C21, which allows a closed session for the purposes of reviewing closed session. And we promise that we'll be back in as short a time as possible. Notice I didn't say a specific time.
Second.
And having a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
Yes,
Trustee Sweeney?
I would like to amend the motion to suggest that we just release the audio tapes and put them on the website for both of those meetings. I had listened to the meetings, and I think that the transcript that I reviewed from the 522 meeting actually had some words that were different than what I heard, some additional words, some omissions, some gaps in the tape, and I think to answer the questions, letting everybody hear online on the website would be the best thing to do. So that's the amendment that I would like to ask for some.
Art, you can amend the motion. The problem is we still have to adopt written closed session minutes
Exactly.
under the...
And those should be released too.
As a legal opinion, are we allowed to substitute a written transcript for an audio tape? Does that suffice?
No, I mean, you can in addition post
You can
the
do
audio
both.
tape if you want to do that, but you still need written.
And
Okay.
Trustee McKenzie had requested that I certify that it was accurate to the best of my ability. I'm not a court reporter. I left out some ahs and ums, but it absolutely, so what happened was Aisha started, she went to Poland, and then Doreen, doing her job, continued, and then Doreen had medical, and then I was the only other person who had access, and spent literally hours and hours and hours and hours changing making it as verbatim as possible, and there's some words that are hard to hear that you have to listen over and over and over.
I spent several hours as well. And
The,
I would like to make a note that the start time of the actual closed session minutes of 5:22 is not on the tape.
but we have to do that in closed session?
So,
Why do we have, okay.
Because we're reviewing the closed session.
I'm going to vote against closed session. I think this should be discussed in open session.
All right, so let's call this question.
I just have a question.
Trustee Carabell.
For our attorney, can the tape just be substituted for the transcript? Can the tape simply just be released as it is, without a verbatim, without any type of minutes?
You can release the tape as it is. However, you also need to do written minutes that you have to keep in closed session.
Can the
So-
written minutes be confined, it says C tape, as we do with?
No, they have to, there's 4 elements that have to be included in the minutes under the open
That's right,
meetings.
that's, okay.
But yeah, I mean, they can be, so you can either do a verbatim transcript in the minutes, or you can just do the minutes much more.
Right, you can summarize, but that wouldn't be like
Well,
in
the
the
problem-
situation.
Because the problem to address is that the tape is incomplete. So,
Let's take this vote first, and then we can discuss that issue. So does anybody have any other discussion on the motion to go into closed session? Okay, hearing none, Clerk Tyko, could you call the roll?
Supervisor Moras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones? Yes. Mackenzie? Trustee Mackenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
no.
Trustee Sweeney?
No.
All right, so we will be right back. Motion to reconvene in open session.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Moras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones? Yes. Trustee Mackenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes?
Okay. Going in order, with respect to, all right, so with respect to February 12th, 2018, I am going to make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 12th, 2018 closed session. To be, oh, that's the second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion?
I would just like to make note, as we had talked about, that there is no end of the tape. And that on February 12th, we have front side and back side. I have to go back and look at the number of minutes, but I just want that. Let's see. $47 minutes and 4 seconds on side 1, and 44 minutes and 50 seconds on side 2. So I'm approving the minutes for. We'll take a vote, but, I mean, based on what?
All right, so, Clerk Tyko, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Moras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Mackenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Okay, and now I'm going to make a motion to release those minutes to the public. Can I have a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Moras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Mackenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
All right, with respect to the minutes of May 22nd, 2018, I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes as amended by removing the time of 7:08.
Second.
Make a motion to amend your motion to also include one other amendment, and that is on the bottom of page 3, beginning with the parenthesis in background, to top of page 4 to the end parenthesis, that language be stricken and substituted for difficult to hear C tape.
Second.
Okay, having that motion to amend, Clerk Tyko, can you call the roll on the motion to amend?
Supervisor Moras?
No.
Trustee Jones?
No.
Trustee Mackenzie? No. Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes, and I will note that my yes vote is due to the fact that I could not audibly hear that.
Okay, back to my original motion of approving the minutes of the May 22nd board meeting as is, with striking the start time of 7:08 p.m. Do we need
Second.
a motion and a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Murras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
Due to that provision, the bottom of page 3, parenthesis, being parenthesis, to the top of page 4, end parenthesis, being inaudible to me, again, I stand on my objection to the minutes as presented and vote no.
Trustee Sweeney?
I vote yes, but I will say with the exception that I could not hear that one section. I'm just noting.
Okay. Moving right along, the next item are proposed policies and procedures. The first two are new. I'm going to make a motion to table these. We have not yet been able to get a draft or get together on a draft of policy procedure for board and staff requests of attorney legal time, or policy and procedure for directing staff to call a special board meeting. And then today, with respect to the other three items, review minor changes, record retention, posting financial and other records, I received Carrie Lynn's cleaned up copies about 2 weeks ago, and then about 4 p.m. I received a different set from Trustee Carabota. I'd like time to read that, see if there's any difference. I make a motion to table.
Second.
Having a motion to table in a second, can you call the roll?
Can we have a discussion?
I don't think so.
Motion to table is not debatable.
It's not debatable.
Okay. Can I make a comment or I can do
Okay.
Okay, it just, in terms of the order of those board policies, because we had some of these board policies back from January, February, I'd like to prioritize the ones that we started with and complete that set
That's
first.
fine.
And then the other two on.
That's fine. I mean, really, it was just random. Because the two top ones had been new business, so now they just moved up. So, you just want it in the reverse. Okay, can you call the roll?
Supervisor Murras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee McKenzie? Yes. Trustee Carabota?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Okay, so, personnel. I'm gonna call up Mike Simon, our maintenance director. We have achieved, I believe, touchdown. Mike was gonna give you a whole report, given the length of board reports. Cut your report down.
Okay.
But would you please talk about the position and the candidate?
Yeah, that's fine. So I'll make it quick here. Good evening, everyone. Just a few things that I just wanted to just mention since I've taken over, something I brought to the board's attention. The mold removal has been complete, as I believe that we talked about before in the past. That was in the maintenance room as well as in the community room closet. We were going to do the waterproofing. We ended up on the outside. I'm glad that we did not go through with that just yet. I don't think we're going to. In the courtyard, I just extended the gutters out, and actually, if you've seen it in the courtyard outside, I had those gutter extenders that have been in the middle for a long time. Those actually got buried yesterday. I've had those out there for maybe a couple months already, and we haven't gotten any water. Downstairs, we're in the electrical room. I'm in the maintenance room, so. We passed our backflow prevention test, fire detectors. We're working on the elevator, getting that passed. Just working on like replacing batteries and light bulbs for some of our exit signs and our emergency lights. And just got the garage sale coming up this Saturday, as well as moving into the busy season with food pickups for the food pantry. So.
And Mike, can you remind me? We're going to have the contract for their perusal for our first project from the capital fund that all of, we discussed how the capital fund, you still get approval of the individual project. So the first one that we want to get done is the painting.
Correct, thank you for mentioning that. One actually fell through on me when I talked to one of our companies. So I did have that done to talk about give me like a week or so to go ahead
He
and
was
maybe
gonna
get some
put it in your
estimates on that.
packets for tonight.
But I do want to go ahead, and I know it's getting late in the year, but I do want to go ahead and hopefully move through to get
You
that
wanna do
done
it
this
before
year.
the freeze.
Correct, yes.
Alright. Okay, now, the second part is that Mike, Dana, you know, we've had this ad out for the candidate to fill the position, part-time, no benefits. What is it?
It's,
2 days?
it could be, it's just 16 hours a week. We're looking to kind of keep it flexible right now. I'm looking at his name is Steven Basista. Lives just a few blocks away in the area, so I think he's a great fit for the maintenance department. I know it's late, we just had the interviews that we were doing yesterday.
You gave them his.
Yes.
Alright, so you're seeking, you and Dana are both, and I reviewed his materials, and it would be the same pay as the previous
Yes.
person, correct?
Yes.
Same duties, and right now, just to really quickly fill you in, I mean, literally, so Jess works 7 to 3, so Mike cannot take vacation. And, you know, when you hear my board report with the fire and the landings and everything that we're going through with the grass, I mean, he literally can't take a vacation. Because there's nobody from 3M. So that's why, you know, we were thrilled that we finally got some candidates. And I'm so appreciative, he did a great job. He saved Maine Township thousands of dollars with the ingenious solution that Nader, I'm sorry, I'm really tired. Nader and Mike came up with these tunnels out there because that was going to be concrete work. That was going to be that other big, huge.
We were talking about going into the electrical room as well, which.
That was like in the 30s. I mean, that was going to have to go out to bid. You know, and this worked. I mean, I honestly, and they had to take down the Margie Bialczyk fountain, which is best.
We'll have it up this week.
All right.
We just got it buried yesterday, we'll take care
So
of it.
I really, all the credit in the world to these guys. I mean, honestly. Not to mention the other residents and problems we've solved. So, I didn't mean to cut your board report short. Is there anything else?
No, that's it.
All right,
Are
so.
you going to comment at all about Stephen?
Steve, his resume is fantastic. I mean, it's, has a lot of electrical work on there. When I was looking through it, he's worked with, when he was doing some, worked with like Ray Charles and things like that. It's like on the second page.
You Ray Charles?
It's some sound, he was a sound engineer, so he's had some interesting type of gigs in the past, but he's done
So
the
he
gigs
can help
before.
Rich in the video?
I'm sure, yes.
Trainer?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
I'm just wondering, because his last employment was in 04.
He's retired.
05, so he's been retired.
Yes, he's been retired, yes.
This is a tough job to fill. So you, how many people total did you interview?
We had 3 people that we interviewed on it. Supposed to be 4, but it was just 3.
And would you characterize this as far and away?
Yes.
No.
I'm sorry? Yeah, no, easily far and away. Absolutely.
All right. So I'm gonna make a motion to hire, I'm sorry, please tell me his last name. Cecil?
Basista.
I'm gonna make a motion to hire Stephen Basista for 16 hours a week at the rate of $12.50 an hour, no benefits, with an effective starting date of Tuesday, October 9th. Is there a second?
Second.
Having a motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Tyko, could you call the roll?
Supervisor Boras?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquez?
Yes.
Mrs. Barboda?
Moved with a good resume, good presentation by Michael and Dana, and the fact that he used to be a graduate of Notre Dame College Prep, I'd say yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
All right.
All right, is he here?
No, he's not here.
Well, then we'll welcome him to next.
Sounds good.
All right.
Can you recognize Supervisor Morales? I know this is sort of out of order, but I think we may have skipped something that.
All right, thank you.
See back.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I had made a motion in a second, and you said we were talking about in closed session, we came back out. Do we need to take an actual vote on a motion that I had made and seconded on the release of the audio tape to be put on the website?
Oh,
For the May 22nd meeting?
right. So do you want to make the motion?
Yes,
Second.
Well, wait, you gotta make the motion.
I'm making the motion. Okay, I make a motion to release the audio tape of the May 22nd closed session meeting.
Second.
Okay, having a motion,
And published on the website under,
Okay.
is there a specific area that we're going to,
I
since it's
don't know.
under the board meeting of the May
I'm gonna have
22nd?
to go into the board. All right, have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, can we call the roll?
Supervisor Morales?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Marquez?
Yes.
Mrs. Barboda?
Yes.
Trustee Sweeney?
Yes.
Great. Now, we are up to officials' reports. I'm gonna start from Assessor Marlon. We haven't heard from you.
That's about all right. Good evening, everyone. We had our Property After Death seminar on September 13th, and it was a huge success. The room was packed. We have a limit in this room of 120 people. We had people waiting to still attend. It was so well received. We were asked to do it again, so we will think about that in the future. This last week, we helped assist finding the legal owners of the poor people at the landings. So we had made up a list of, we went to the recorder of deeds, found the registered owners, and put that into the mix for GA and the food pantry to help out people at the landings. We helped our residents obtain from doing certificate of errors, $516,952.70 up into this date. So they will be getting a check back from the Cook County Treasurer's Office on that, and most of them have. But those take anywhere from when we do the forms for them, it takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months for those checks to come to the residents. So they were happy with that. And that's my report. Thank you.
Highway Commissioner, thank you. Highway Commissioner Kansmerch.
Gentleman from the auction company that we use to sell surplus equipment, he's coming out to take pictures of the equipment that we're going to be attempting to auction off. So hopefully by the end of October, the whole process will be complete. Curbs and sidewalks were finished this past month. We did curbs and sidewalk on Dean, Stacy, Julie, and Pauline. And we did a change order on the streets that are going to be resurfaced to keep the amount under what I had budgeted, or what was the line items for road resurfacing. We're going to do Stacy, Julie, and Pauline, and we'll have to postpone D Road and a very small cul-de-sac, Kathy, till next year. As far as the tragic fire about 10 days ago, we provided the barricades for the police and fire while the building was being worked on. The fire was raging. So even though you know, it's a state and county road. Potter's a state road and Ballard is a county road. They knew that by the time the barricades were put up by then, it would be Monday, the next day. So they, you know, we got them out in a timely manner and brought them back the next day after the roads were accessible. So that's my report.
Okay. I'm gonna go next. Okay, so I just really do want to thank Mike and Nader for saving us thousands of dollars on that concrete contract. And while we're thanking them, we had 3 residents complain, actually 4, who we were able to help by immediately. I was contacted by a gentleman over the weekend, a couple weekends ago, who was complaining in the unincorporated about an eyesore truck that was always parked across from his residence that, but it was always on the weekends, and like our people could never get it when it was there to ticket it. So we coordinated with the Cook County Sheriff, and they had previously ticketed, and I authorized a half-day Saturday for Nader to go out, and we managed to ticket it, and we're going to tow it if he doesn't pay that ticket, because it is disgusting, and it is throwing this truck that's filled with garbage and spewing garbage all over this area that we've been trying to clean up. That was one. Then we had Sharon McLaughlin had sent us pictures of 3 different areas with Andy, Sumac, and Robin, and Mike and Nader were out there immediately and cleaned it all up. And also worked out a great thing with Republic to change the route to finally fix this problem. I mean, I can't stop people from doing it, but all right. So I'm glad we were able to be very receptive to these residents. We had some other residents. So now, with respect to this landing spire, I want to congratulate all of our people who on Sunday, the day it happened, we all came together and coordinated. Mike was out there, Dagmar was out there, Wally was out there, and I was on the phone, and I was texting Dana, keeping her updated, and so it was determined that on that Sunday, we get the word out via the website, via Rich, and through the radio station, and through Dick Barton with the whatever patch, through the patch, so that we had a mobilized effort starting Monday. We were going to do it Sunday, but because American Red Cross was there on site. So what we are offering and have been continually offering, Kathy Sabini has the totals, who kindly came to the, if you have any questions. But, so what we are offering is boxes of food, and Susie printed out for us a list of every resident and their unit number, because it's one building and it's completely destroyed. So it's going to be a long time, if ever, before people are moving back into that building. And so what we're doing is using, all our people have stepped up, our GA department, Carol Langan, Susie, myself, Wally, Dick, Dane, all departments actually. We had seniors, every single department combed through their lists and called every client that might live in that area. The deceased woman was a client of ours, and so her family was in Maine Township, and she had been in the public advocacy section, and so we were able to account for reaching every person from the, or to assure ourselves that every person either had a family member or a place to go. And we are also offering a lot of the food. We have all these cards that can be used for this purpose, that are being given before I started the donation drive for the white goods and the toiletries. Those were very popular. Then we started, I did the first contribution, and then it's been overflowing. So for toiletries, because these people literally got burned out in the middle of the night and had nothing. So I sent Mikey over to wherever he went to literally buy boxes of shampoo and this and that. So in our garage, we have different bins set up, for people to come and do. And at the beginning, we couldn't require any ID because they don't have any. But we check them off against a list. So, just so that we don't have people from, if you're going to be that kind of person that's going to take that kind of advantage, then there's a special place. Anyways, so this has been working out really well, and then we also have a donation box here and we're looking for new clothing, shoes, toiletries, things of that nature, white goods. And we're actually going to make up some boxes with just that kind of thing. The other thing that we are offering, similar to when we had the 100-year flood, is that we can give emergency shelter for up to 2 or more nights. But American Red Cross did it at the beginning, so I think we may get some at the tail end, but we have not. Am I right, Kathy? We have not gotten any of those requests. When we had the flood, we put up quite a few people in the hotel. So Austin, in his days at GA, he called the local hotels, got the best government rate, the ones with the blocks of rooms. So we have that all set up and has been very well publicized. And we also, if they are ever allowed back in the building, we'll be making smoke cleaning kits that we will be passing out. And I have gotten an unbelievable contacts from, there was a fire in Wheeling, River Groves, and they have a ton of leftover stuff. There was a condo fire a few months back. They have a ton of leftover stuff that they want to give us. I've been contacted by the Bridge Church. Rich called Gemini, and Gemini started a donation, and Mikey picked up a ton of stuff from them, right?
13 boxes.
13 boxes? Wow, these kids are really something. We're either gonna have to store it, once the garage sale, or, Landings itself has a centralized office, not in the burn down building, that they are accepting, things to give out. So we're either gonna bring it over there or store it in the OEM building just for a day, for the garage sale to be open. So I just really, really want to thank everybody in the township for everything, in every department. I've never seen anything like it. And then October 12th is Center of Concern dinner. It's at this place in Glenview, and if anybody's interested, I'm accepting the award, and it's to honor Maine Township for being a fantastic partner, and I think they're paying for dinner, according to John McNivola, and that is Saturday, October 12th. Get in touch with Doreen. And finally, I think those of you who are going to join, hopefully I've told them, because I think that's rapidly closing. Am I right? Okay. So, and then, so, during that, this is unbelievable, so going back to the landings, these items were, delivered this afternoon for the landings fire victims. It's from Mission Green Light Inc. in Glenview. Sent to Carol Langen. Ms. Langen, we will appreciate if you visit our website so you can see the efforts we are making from a room in a nursing home. They sent 15 cases of soft drinks, 9 cases of Lay's chips, 13 cases of Campbell's soup, 10 cases of Ritz Fitz cheese, 9 cases of Grandma's cookies, and 8 cases of bottled water, and 35 brown cartons. Wow. So, thank you. And I will send them a thank you letter on behalf of the board. So, that's incredible. That's my report. Trustee Jones.
Question about the report? Sure. Well, first of all, can you just copy us, the trustees, on the thank you, because
On the what?
thank you note that you sent? Sure. I'd like to see that. So the Red Cross, you said, as far as the hotels, the Red Cross will be supporting these people up through a certain point?
Yeah, that's only 2 days.
And then our policy has been to provide hotel accommodation for up to 2 days?
Well, in the past for the floods, I think we did 2 or 3 days. It's a very short, it's about the same length of time. It's not long-term. And then what we do is I've gotten offers from people with respect to long-term housing or referrals to helping them if they need referrals. And especially the center of concern. But we have gotten no requests, so it's sort of a moot point at this point with respect to housing.
I'm wondering if hopefully they have insurance for that.
Well, actually, no. That's the problem.
Yeah, do we qualify for people that don't have any insurance?
They don't have, we are able to do this through our programs, but that building, I think it was supposedly owner occupied, but
Some of them had insurance.
I'm sorry, some had, most
That I talked to had insurance.
those without insurance don't really have a whole lot of recourse. So there's also 3 GoFundMe
Yeah, I was just
pages.
going to mention that.
And I think the best one in terms of if people are worried about the legitimacy of it, I think the best one is with the landings or the fire department, because North Maine Fire Department set one up as well. Third one on that.
They just advertised the landings one. They
Oh,
didn't set up
okay,
a
so
separate
that's the
one.
landings one? Okay.
Yes.
And that's clearly, in my opinion, at least the best one. That's my report. Trustee Jones.
Okay. I also want to extend my condolences to the family of the victim of the fire and all of the families that were displaced from the fire. And I want to mention, again, thank you, Dagmar. Not only were they there on Sunday, all day with the fire, and as evidenced by Dagmar's sunburned face the next day, but they also, OEM worked all day Saturday because the North Maine Fire Department had an open house. And OEM was there providing services, taking blood pressure, doing the 5-minute Save a Life course, and some other things. Highway Commissioner Kazmierczak, myself, and Doreen, and of course OEM all attended that, and that was a really good event. They did some new things this year that they hadn't done before. The sheriff brought the bloodhound, and the firemen did some great things with the kids. So that was really good. Unfortunately, they had to attend those terrible fire the next day. So I want to thank the Highway Department and Dagmar and OEM, as well as Mikey and Dick Barton and Alex Barton. I also attended the Brewers Cubs game, which was a great event with the mainstreamers, my first mainstreamers. My mom talked me into it, so I want to thank Murphy and Monica. And mainstreamers do a great job, and Wally was there, and we had some other former board members, and Susie Morgan-Pry was there. It was a really fun night. And then I was here for a couple hours on the Monday after the fire. That's working, or trying to see if I could help out with the food pantry and any services that might, you know, we were expecting victims of the fire here really in the morning. So Dana and Vicky and Carol Langan and Mikey and everybody was really on their game that morning. First thing in the morning, trying to organize everything and make sure that we were here and available for our constituents and the residents in Maine Township. So, thanks. I think that concludes my report.
Trustee McKenzie, I'm sure you have a really long report.
No, I really don't have much of a voice.
I was checking.
I do want to also extend condolences and heartfelt support to all these families that have lost pretty much everything. And I'm very proud of how the township has come together and provided as many services as we offer. And that's a real testament to the kind of services that we provide and the quality of services we provide. So I'm very proud of that, and that's it for my report. Thank you.
Trustee Caravana.
Join in the comments made about the Landings fire. Although I was out of town, I was notified right away by the township. I very much appreciated that, and I received information as far as the actions being taken by the township. Again, great job as usual with the township staff, and I just want to add that if we can, on our way out the door tonight, maybe say a prayer for a wonderful, what I understand to have been a very wonderful lady who passed in the fire. All that I've heard about her is pretty wonderful. And again, as Trustee McKenzie said, all the families suffering now from the losses that they incurred. I also, last week, had a wonderful experience of patriotism, exceptionalism, and sacrifice for fellow man by wonderful naval personnel who provided me with a tour of the naval base in Florida, Pensacola, Florida, and my further travels to Alabama with my hosts that are here tonight. Really thank them for their hospitality. Really showed a good sized man. All the things I learned, the history I learned, the sacrifices that our Navy veterans have put forth, both retired and in active duty, returning then to find a wonderful 65th anniversary for St. John Rebuff Parish in Niles, which was, we flew in just in time for that. It was a wonderful event for a parish that does an awful lot for our community, and it was just something extremely enjoyable. Last note would be the October 12th Center of Concern dinner. I think it's October 12th.
Yes.
Yeah, which I thought it was Saturday, but my book looks like it's a Friday. Center of Concern does an awful lot of great work, and if you can make that dinner on the 12th, it would be great. I think that's their gala. That would be great. And I want to thank everybody who came again to the meeting. I know again the meeting was very long. Covered a lot of topics, some easy, some not so easy. And at 10:22 p.m. and you hung in there. It shows commitment to our community and sacrifice for the fellow members of your community. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Trustee Caravana. Trustee Sweet.
Well, I echo all the comments that have previously been made by my fellow board members up here in regards to the landings and prayers for your family and hopefully a brighter future, getting out of the most difficult situation you can imagine. I too am impressed by the work and the response, the quick response we had at the township here. I was here the next day and had seen boxes had been prepared and, the staff, I talked to a few people just to see what all was done and being done, so I was glad to see that they were on top of it. And I've just been trying to familiarize myself more in the last month with some of the things that goes on at the township and in terms of records, as we have responsibility for that being trustees, and saw the boxes and boxes we have up in the attic and what's in the clerk's office, and I'm trying to, in the past meeting we had, unfortunately, some comments were made about us sweeping things under the rug, so I intend, as I had said, to, look at things to the greatest extent that we can and understand, make sure that there aren't any things that are not accounted for. So, because we don't want to be in a situation where we're being accused of things that we're not doing. So, the better prepared we can be, the better that we can ensure the success of our operations. That's it. Thank you.
All right. I'm sure that, we have one final agenda item, which I am actually going to make a motion to table, and that is review of March 15th, March 27th, closed session minutes. Well, normally that would be a fast process, given the hour. Second, thank you. All right, call the roll, please.
Supervisor Durant?
Yes.
Trustee Jones? Yes. Mrs. McKenzie? Yes. Mrs. Carabota?
Yes.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
All right, and now I'm gonna make the motion that you all hate the most, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. All opposed?